Hey everybody, it's Emily, and as you might be able to tell from the title and the footage behind me, I'm here to talk about The Witness today. I do have a longer video that I have a script for about Lightfall, but this one is largely unscripted, apart from what I just talked about in Discord a couple minutes ago. But I just want to talk about The Witness and why it feels like why The Witness isn't being written consistently from their previous lore books to like who we're seeing on the screen. Like, it feels very weird, and I want to really quickly just go over that. In the event that like this is intended and there's supposed to be this disconnect, great, I'd love to be proven wrong, but like as it stands now, The Witness doesn't feel like the same dude that wrote Unveiling 2 years ago. So spoilers we're going to be talking about the end of Lightfall a bit. We're going to be talking about The Witness's dialogue, so if you care about spoilers for Lightfall, probably click out like 3, 2, 1. The Witness saying that its goal is the end of pain feels like either an oversimplification or just straight up a change in motivation to what we've heard from it before. Because, like, okay, yeah, for the purpose of this conversation, it could have been lying before, but before we continue, I'm assuming that the Winnower and the Witness are the same, that Unveiling is being honest, and that the conversation from Majestic is the Witness. Because if we start to assume that the information that we're given is a lie, we can't make any conclusions. Because if we just assume the answer is something different than what we're being told, yes, we can try to operate on, well, what did they want us to accomplish by teaching us this lie? But, like, that path lies to madness. We're not going to do that. We're going to assume the information that we have is correct and that extrapolating from it can lead us to a conclusion. So, let's look at the very beginning. The Witness, as the Winnower, started as being completely fine with the natural order of things. The pattern game that they played was perfect because it worked on rules and reached an ending. Its goal was the reduction in complexity that the darkness works on to reach a final shape. Whatever the strongest pattern is in the game, it eventually reaches that final shape. Like, that's the idea, right? That's what the final shape is supposed to be. It is the natural end of things when you reach whatever is supposed to be at the conclusion of the universe, by virtue of it being the strongest and being able to survive to the end of the universe. And the Gardener wanted to try to preserve complexity, but eventually the Gardener's whole shit wouldn't go right because there is a limited amount of energy in the universe. Entropy is going to happen. Eventually you're going to have, just through scarcity, only one thing left. So the Gardener goes like, oh shit, that's no good, and makes paracausality a thing. It introduces magic, because paracausality and magic is just the same. Magic is just describing, okay, the wizard is making something happen because he knows the words. It's not like taking energy from the universe around it, because paracausality is separate from physics. It's just some shit that happens. This traveler didn't fire a beam because, like, the moons were in the right transfiguration or something. No, it fired the beam because it made energy. It could just do that. But I don't know. Reduction in complexity, even as a goal of the darkness, is probably a bit of an oversimplification, considering that the predation causing the Cambrian explosion is something they take credit for in the first place. So, like, obviously complexity of life isn't necessarily something that they view to be inherently bad, but they think that it's temporary. They think that eventually whatever the complexity in life that's made is going to find a stronger form for it. It's this idea of natural selection taken to a universal degree, right? But the new stuff, the we know pain and our purpose is its end, the universe makes us all victim and perpetrator of its infinite cruelty, you more than most, like talking to the fucking traveler? If the actual thing is you're walking up to the thing that's been causing so much trouble for you and going, oh man, that sucks for you, life made you suffer, huh? That feels wrong. That's not, because yes, to live is to suffer, but the whole idea is that that suffering brings about a stronger final entity. That isn't something to be inherently, like, unwanted. That's why the Witness feels weird compared to what we heard in Unveiling. And in Majestic, because Majestic reads like it's from the same person as Unveiling. Like, straight up. But the fucking sleazy used car salesman pitch to Oryx of the end of reality doesn't feel like Megamind here, right? Like, it doesn't feel like the same character. This dude doesn't feel like the same person that actually went in and talked to us and tried to go, oh, shit, maybe I can convince you that you don't need to make a gentle city ringed in spears. You need to assert your existence by any means necessary over everything around you. Because that is the only path to the actual final shape. Like, it wanted the end to happen. But it wanted the end to happen naturally. And now the paracausality is in the universe, like, that's a problem for them, but they admit within Unveiling that if they could turn us to their side, when we're the final piece the Traveler has left to play, that would kick ass, which means it doesn't have a problem with the light or even with life itself. It has a problem with the Traveler perpetuating weaker life that it doesn't think should survive. Like, the creation myth is all about this. The fucking battle-made waves that created the universes is just sitting there because without magic, the universe would always reach the same ending, so the life god went, okay, it's time for Calvin Ball. Like, it's fucking weird that this is the witness we're getting. So, what happened? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Maybe COVID did this. Like, COVID did a lot of shit. COVID could absolutely have rewritten the witness. But, like, the same entity that said if the true path to goodness is the elimination of suffering, then only those who must exist can be allowed to exist. Maybe by the virtue of fighting us in this way, it's saying if you can't stop me, you don't deserve to exist. If the Traveler can't stop me, it doesn't deserve to exist. Like, that, I guess, maybe? But that, again, that's not its stated goals out loud. And when it's talking to the Traveler and saying, you can rest now, you don't need to suffer, that's so fucking weird to me. That doesn't seem consistent. To which, I talked with my chat briefly about a possible option in that maybe, the witness and the winnower aren't the same person. Now, this would require the people within the universe to be wrong about what the deep is, and wrong about the fact that the witness is the only, like, force behind the darkness, because maybe the winnower does exist within the context of the darkness, but it's not explicitly the witness. Maybe the winnower is taking a more passive role, just like the gardener is taking a more passive role, and just kind of letting shit happen with this additional magic entered into the universe. Maybe the sleazy used car salesman is going to congratulate us at the end of the final shape and say, good job, that dude was a real piece of work, but like, then why is the witness the actual fucking villain here? Is it because we need a villain who wants to kill us? I don't really get it. Something doesn't fit. The witness on screen with its multi-voice and its calm demeanor reads like a completely different character from the one in the text, even when it's nominally the one writing the fucking text. Like, the witness is supposed to be the one that sent us Unveiling, but it feels like a different character entirely, and I just can't reconcile that. Can you see Big, Tall, and Smokey here saying thank you for making room in your life for another talking ball? Can you see the witness as we have them now saying, if life is to live, if anything is to survive through the end of all things, it will live not by the smile, but by the sword? Not in a soft place, but in a hard hell. Not in the rotting bog of artificial paradise, but in the cold, hard, self-verifying truth of that one ultimate arbiter, the only judge, the power that is its own metric and its own source, existence at any cost? That doesn't feel like our witness, because they're not talking about existence at any cost, they're talking about non-existence. They're talking about, like, life causes suffering and so life deserves to end. And that's what I'm worried about. And I'm gonna cut it there, because it's already been like 8 minutes, and y'all don't deserve me going on forever, but like, just know that's what I'm really hesitant about right now. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. That there is some prestige in the Season of the Deep or something, or just like in the final shape itself that proves me wrong and brings this all together. But after what happened with Lightfall's story, I don't have the kind of confidence in the Bungie writers that I did before, that they could pull this off. It's different and difficult. But I guess if the witness and the winnower are different entities, if we assume that that's true, and if we assume that the winnower is still around long enough that they wrote us an entry through the pyramid ship at the end of Unveiling, would that make the witness big boss? Is the winnower the boss? I don't know, man. it's just, it's messy and it's difficult to kind of try to parse, and I'm hoping that, because I think that if the witnesses, and I haven't really gone into the one issue with this, I'm not going to keep you for too much longer, but my big issue with the witness is like just looking to end existence because existing as suffering, is that it's fucking boring. Like, I can't overstate that just the idea of non-existence over the suffering of life has been done to death, and we had a unique villain in that their problem wasn't the fact that life continued to exist, but that Calvin Ball was being played. That God had entered the universe and just kind of fucking flipped the table over because he didn't like the script. Like, that's unique. That's something that was unique to Destiny, and I don't know that we still have it. And that's heartbreaking. But hopefully we have it eventually. And hopefully they'll tell me what the Veil does soon. And now, one side note, as you can probably tell from the upload date, this is from before the raid releases. So maybe we're going to get some big spoilers in the raid. Maybe Nezarek's gonna pop up and be like, "You fool, you absolute idiot. The light and dark are both evil. And the plot isn't what you thought it was at all. Everything's different." But like, that still wouldn't be fucking satisfying. We want this to be an end to the story that we've been like being told. We've been getting, that they've been telling us, whatever, you know what I mean. But I'm worried. I guess worry is what's leading me to make this video now, because I've dropped hard into the Destiny lore hole over the past couple of years. And this is deeply unsatisfying. And the way that you get around something that is this weird and this inconsistent is you talk about it. Because when a beam gets fired at the orb and it goes off to that big old corner pocket in the sky, and I'm not even aware it happens until I talk to Zavala afterwards, how can I trust that the character that I've grown to like from their text, who is nominally shown up on screen, but hasn't actually shown up as they were ever written before, how can I trust that that person's ever going to show up again? That there hasn't been some change in direction while we weren't looking, while the pandemic was going, while something was happening that left it as something entirely different, right? How do I know that the story that I wanted to tell, or rather that I wanted to play and be told, is still going to be told when the man behind me is talking about how the giant magic orb is actually a victim here? I don't know. I think that's worst of all. I don't know. I want to have confidence in Bungie. I really do, but I just don't right now. I'll talk to you all later. Video on Lightfall coming soon. I just have to get all the footage together. But, I definitely have some words about it. And they're not necessarily all negative, but they're there.